It's time for your daily dose of all things Chicago sports. This is the Daily Score. Now, here's your host, Mark Grote.
Hello and welcome into the program. The Bears season has reached a point of urgency. It has reached a point of we're not just carelessly and frivolously using terminology like must win. And I did it to start the season, and I stand by it, that the Bears had to win that game against the Packers for so many reasons, because Jordan Love, because Aaron Rodgers, because Bears losing streak against the Packers, because all offseason to prepare for them. So I put that down as a must win, and the Bears just keep on getting badder, worse and worse every week. They have not recovered from the Green Bay game. They have not recovered from anything that has gone horribly wrong for them this year. So everything out at Haugh, this is all to tell you that the feeling and the vibe is for, sometimes we don't buy it when they say they've put that other stuff behind them. The reason they've put that other stuff behind them and all the adversity and all that kind of stuff, which seems kind of impossible considering how loud it was last week. The reason that they are doing all that is because they know that they must win, that their season is kind of on the line already. The Bears season in heading into their fourth game at 0-3 with a lack of development and a lack of talent on their team in terms of salvaging something as far as the win-loss record is concerned. This is a huge game for the Bears. You're back at home against a team that allowed 70 points to be put on the board, and I get it, by maybe one of the best teams in the NFL in Miami, but that still is egg in your face, and they're 0-3 too. So to bring it back to the Bears, if they blow this game, if they lose this game at Soldier Field on Sunday, you add to the legacy of this season, which has been the story of horrible losses that each have their own mini drama or extra story attached to it. And obviously, this story, the one that I just told you, that's the one that you hope does not play out, that you lose to the team that allowed 70 points. It's sort of like a second part to the trivia question. What team gave up 70 points in the last decade? Well, we all know who gave up the 70 points in the last decade. And then the backup question to it is to go a little bit farther into it and find out the exact specifics of it and some of the extra things that go with it. But obviously, you don't want to get yourself into this mess. So in the name of that, we did speak to the coordinators today. And when I say the coordinators, the only one left, or the only two left, are Luke Getsy and Richard Hightower, the special teams coach. Matt Eberflus, serving as the defensive coordinator, does not give us an extra day to speak. So really, it's just Luke Getsy. There wasn't anything that really reached the level of, super high game plan interest from Richard Hightower. All due respect to special teams and to Richard Hightower, great guy. But it was Luke Getsy's show today. And the first thing that is on everybody's mind is getting Justin Fields on track. And here's what the Bears offensive coordinator had to say about that.
Our expectations have always been the same. It's about him getting better each and every week and making sure that he's mastering what we're doing from our perspective and being the leader of that unit. And I think he's doing a really nice job in the midst of a lot of shit right now going on, that he's been manning up and he's taking the leadership role for these guys. So it's been good to see him be able to put it on his shoulders and be the guy that wants to help make this thing get right.
You talk about him wanting him to get better every week. What has he gotten better at throughout these weeks?
Yeah, like I talked about a little bit last week, you play teams that we just played against that challenge you with all kind of different scheme and alignments and pressures and stuff and like that. You talk about a guy who, during the week in the preparation, getting everybody on board on the same page, and I think that showed up again this past week where that wasn't the issue at all. We were doing a really good job. He made sure that everybody was on the same page and protection wise. When you have a new line like that we had last week again, for them to be able to be on the same page and have their calls and everything like that. That was a really good example of him being able to in control of all that stuff.
Do you still see the quarterback on that Monday night game against Pittsburgh in terms of confidence, the ability to throw downfield that, a year and 3 games into it now?
Yeah, Justin has a tremendous amount of confidence. I think it's, like you said, there's a lot of moving parts when you're playing on an offense. It's 11 as one. And right now, we're not clicking all 11 as one. And I know it's easy, like I said, to look to pinpoint it on one person, but it's not. And so we got to make sure that we go out and we got to get that synchronized a little bit better, and we'll go out and get some points.
Yeah, there are some things that he said that are legitimate in terms of things that we need to take seriously that Justin Fields has gotten better at, and that is dealing with different schemes, dealing with alignments and pressures, getting the protection set. And, he says that the work in practice is great. So I don't want to breeze past those things. That's real. But unfortunately, it's a rerun of what Luke Getsy has told us earlier. And it's great. It's good to hear it again that he's got those things down. But the part that you continue to want to hear is the part where Justin Fields, he can tell us something specific about his downfield accuracy or his ability to, really get a fast passing game going, one that there is some rhythm. Like, it wouldn't be great just to hear Luke Getsy jump up there and say, man, Justin Fields was in rhythm, like just something like that in terms of the passing game. So that's the part that I still need to hear. And I'm not criticizing Luke Getsy. Like, there's nothing more he could have said. I don't think he's holding back. I think he told us the things that he could tell us that were positive about Justin Fields. I asked the question, what is he better at? And dealing with different schemes, alignments, pressures, protection set, leading the practice. And that is all very true. I guess when Getsy sees it, he will tell us. And sometimes it's good to see that our eyes match up with what the seasoned professional offensive coordinator has to say about it. Let's do another one from Luke Getsy. And yeah, this one is interesting and it tells a lot. And I think you'll probably be nodding your head like, yeah. Here's what Luke Getsy says he is seeing on tape about the offense.
That jumped out was, a few of the details. I mean, there's probably 7 or 8 plays that we felt like that should have been explosive plays. For whatever it was, just a lack of execution and a lack of particular detail to a number of different situations, a number of different parts of it. And when you're playing a really good team like that, you can't let those opportunities slide by, and we did. So,
you say 7 or 8 plays that could have been explosive plays, and people are not paying attention to the details. Safe to assume that that's either the quarterback or the receivers themselves? Is that...
all parts, backs, O-line, tight ends, quarterbacks, receivers, all parts of that. I mean, we had a few of those when I say that number 7 or 8-ish, that we felt like the execution on a typical basis and in practice and everything, like as you're going into it, you're excited about those opportunities, and we didn't seize them. We had them right there to take, and we didn't do that.
Do you think you're close then? Because Matty Bruce said that he thinks that you guys are really close. Would you put it under that same?
Yeah, I don't know as far as like how close we are, or how far away we are. I just know that we have to improve our execution. That's as simple as that, right? It starts with executing on the practice field, which has been pretty damn good. So we got to make sure we carry that over to the game, though.
Luke, 7 or 8 plays sounds like a lot to me. I mean, that could be 20 plus points if those went well.
Oh yeah, I would agree.
Why is the volume of poorly executed plays that high?
Well, I think it's. I wouldn't use the word poorly executed. I would just say that the reactions weren't to matching what the opportunity presented. So whether it's sustaining a block, whether it's run a correct track by the back, a correct read by the back, whether it's a right alignment by a tight end or a receiver, whether it's a right decision by the quarterback. There's all facets. So that's where we have to narrow this thing down. But when you have that many, to your point, that's losing opportunities to go get those points. So if you cut those opportunities down to just 1 or 2 a game, that means you're successful in 5 or 6. Then now you're doing exactly what you just talked about, and we're where we want to be. So the part that we're talking about being close, that's the part that's exciting about, and the opportunity that we have in front of us, that we feel like it is right there for us to go take. We just got to go take it now.
I mean, in theory, I suppose Luke Getsy is right. Like the fine line between, I mean, you watched it. There's a fine line between all big plays or explosive plays in the league that work and don't work. I mean, you see it. You see how close and how bang bang and how a last second deflection or anything can affect what goes down on a particular play. But the question is for the Bears, aside from the fine line, can they fix? Did they have the players? We're back to asking that question. Do they have the players to fix it, to make it better, to make the offense more explosive? I'm not backing off on DJ Moore, obviously. I mean, that's legit, but Mooney has been a part of nothing. Chase Claypool has not been a part of anything so far. Cole Kmet's number is not being called at all. Robert Tonyan, same thing. So at this point, we're back to asking that question. I think that it's not like it was last year where it was truly the question of, is it the quarterback or the weapons? At this point, I think that the quarterback has been exposed to some degree in terms of, there is more culpability for him than a lot of us thought, or a lot of people thought. I started to see it in training camp this year. Definitely culpability with him, but are those weapons that they have invested in? DJ Moore spending $50 million on Cole Kmet. They haven't spent a cent yet on Darnell Mooney, but they do have to make a decision on him. And we know what the stakes were for Chase Claypool, and that was a second-round pick. So I hate that we're not just asking about the quarterback, we're asking about the weapons again in this offense. And that is not a place that I wanted to get to again. And I doubt that you did either. Let's go to DJ Moore himself now. DJ Moore was talking about the missed opportunities, the blown plays that the Bears had.
Well, one was me that dropped. So, I mean, that's an explosive play, 1 out of the 8. So catching the ball, being on blocks, executing play at its fullest down the field, in the gaps and stuff like that.
You mentioned the drop, but you also had the one-arm catch to go along with it. Is that a better usage of you to make those attempts downfield?
Sure, I ain't the fastest, but I know how to track the ball, so, I mean, that makes me fast in itself. So I guess so, but at the same time, you don't always want to have to take the deep shot to get something going.
A lot of talk about details and attention to details. What does that mean to you?
Route depth, knowing the assignment, knowing how to really work your route to get somebody else open. So I've been honing in on that, and really looking forward to seeing what this game plan produces this week.
Has there been a lack of attention to detail?
No, not really. No. When you lose, everybody honing on the little things, so the little things become bigger, and now we're here.
How nice would it be just to get the monkey off the back? Obviously, you weren't here last year, but it's been a long time since Bears fans have seen a win.
It's been a long time since I've seen a win, too. So, but, getting the monkey off your back is a big thing. Once you get one, you get that feeling. You just want to keep getting it.
Luke Getsy commended Justin's ability to kind of manage what's going on, kind of, I guess, outside the perception, all that. How have you seen Justin manage all of that?
I think he's handling it well. I seen him at the podium yesterday. I told him he should smile more, but that's all I really had to say. I think he handled it well, so I'm proud of him.
As a leader, what have you done to try to keep this team on track towards your goals?
No, it is only 3 weeks into the season. We got a whole long rest of the season. So after getting this first win, whenever we get it, hopefully it's this week. So. It'll get the monkey off our back, and then the morale will turn around, and then the fans will be happy, y'all be happy. We can have better conversations up here and stop asking about the morale.
That one-arm catch, that wasn't your first one-arm catch, was it?
No, that wasn't my first.
Okay, I didn't think so.
No, he's DJ Moore. I mean, it's like normal now for top wide receivers in the league to make one-arm catches or one-hand grabs as he did. That was a hell of a play, but he also, DJ Moore, from whom you just heard, did have a bad drop, not consequential necessarily for the big picture of the game, but maybe for some of the morale of the game. Little victories is what the Bears are looking for. And as we wrap up this episode, I mean, the Bears, yeah, they're back in that must-win territory again. They can't lose. They cannot lose to Denver at Soldier Field. So thanks for listening to the Daily Score. Be back tomorrow. For our executive producer, Ray Diaz, I am Mark Grote. Talk to you later.